So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, recruiting. Oh, would you like me just to start from there? Okay. So State picked up a ton of commitments this weekend. Like, in terms of weight, it may actually be a ton.
Anyway, recruiting. Dead stop.
Yeah.
It happened this weekend.
There was an article
Back to
recently
you,
just
Richard.
titled Recruiting, and I was like, okay, I guess that gets the point across. About to tap out on us here. As of about an hour ago, let's make it 7 commitments over the last.
Hey! All right. Congratulations.
Just
That's 11 total now, I think.
Yeah, that's correct.
Care to tell us about any of the
Let me try.
people?
If you'd stop talking, I can get my breath. So state has kind of changed the way they do recruiting, and a lot of schools have, because now you can take official visits in the summer, and the way they've divvied it up is this weekend was the out-of-state weekend. This coming weekend is the in-state weekend. So State had 15 visitors on campus. They've gotten commitments now from 10 of them. 8 of those are public. I expect 2 more by the end of the week, maybe by the middle of next week. Mainly on the defensive side of the ball. I think 4 defensive backs total, couple of defensive linemen, couple of JUCO guys. The one who committed today, Cavante Henry, is a JUCO guy. He was at Oklahoma prior, and now is at a JUCO for this year, and then be at Mississippi State next year. An interesting name, Richard, you'll recognize it. Siku Smith Jr. committed to Mississippi State this weekend. No relation.
Oh, really?
I couldn't believe it either. When I saw his
the
name,
same way and everything?
it's spelled. I sent a text to Paul Jones of On3 Sports. I was like, I mean, it's got to be, right? He's like, nope, no relation. And I was like, what are the odds of that? So, I mean, it would literally be like if Brian Haydad Jr. committed to State. Not my kid. Don't know him. So, couple of JUCO guys. LaKendrick James. That's a name that Mississippi State fans might remember from a couple years back. State recruited him out of high school. He ended up at Colin, but he's committed to Mississippi State. If you maybe pick the best of the bunch from this weekend, it's the defensive back out of Georgia, Stephen Miller. He had a bunch of SEC offers, and that's kind of what some of these guys. I think Borky may have mentioned this. Some of these guys are not ranked yet, so that process is ongoing for Mississippi State. But I mean, they had 15 visitors, and it looks like they've got commitments from 10 of those guys. This weekend they have 25 visitors. I don't expect the same percentage of action on that one, but I think State could pull in 4 or 5 more commitments and be sitting at around 17, 18 commitments by the time we get into August.
Does Big Dog Camp still happen?
It's already happened. So Lebby has completely changed the way they do those camps. He used the camps this year kind of to focus on underclassmen. They didn't do the sit-up where all of the top guys are on campus at the same time.
Man, I bet that disappointed some people.
It did because
there's some people that love to talk about Big Dog Camp.
Yeah, and I mean it's been a situation for State over the past decade basically where that was the camp that you sprung 8 or 9 commitments out of. Now it looks like it's going to be these 2 official visit weekends for Mississippi State. So I think they do have an event before the end of the summer. Kind of, it's not really a camp; it's more of just like a cookout, and they'll bring everybody to campus and try to get some commitments there. Notably missing this upcoming weekend will be Caleb Cunningham, the wide receiver out of Choctaw County. They expect him at Alabama this weekend, but that doesn't mean he won't be in Starkville this week. There's a chance you could go to the grocery store in Starkville and run into Caleb Cunningham. The guy is just always here. I know I saw him in the left field lounge at least 4 times this year. I'd go out there and walk around for an inning or 2, and there's Caleb Cunningham talking to other players, talking to whoever. So, good weekend for State.
Is there any kind of a feeling among Mississippi State fans about Cunningham?
They feel good. I mean, because he's just here all the time. He's got a good relationship with Lebby. He's got a good relationship with Bumpus. 2 of his best friends are Stonka Burnside and J.J. Harrell. there's a lot working for State right now. If you read a recruiting recap of any visit Cunningham takes, that school goes to number one. In the last 3 weeks, Auburn, Florida, and Tennessee have been his number one school because that's where he visits, and he's just a nice. He's a really nice kid. I had a chance to speak to him a couple of times. Couldn't be nicer. I think he ends up at
grocery
State.
store or left field lounge.
Left field lounge. So I think he ends up at State, but it's recruiting, man, and it could go any way you want. So.
State also picked up a baseball commitment over the weekend. I looked at this Twitter graphic of Noah Sullivan, and so he looks like two different people in the same graphic. So there's him just forward-facing headshot, Mississippi State hat on. Oh, okay, fine. The one where it's more like waist up in the middle of the graphic, he looks like a young, thin Rafael Palmeiro to me in that graphic.
Well, State would definitely take that if they could get him. So, and a two-way player pitched and hit at USC Upstate.
Okay.
I think the hitting number is a little bit better. You know, as a pitcher, ERA was close to 5, but not a lot of walks. So maybe that's something that Parker can work with. But as a hitter, hitting .324, 17 bombs, didn't have a lot of strikeouts. All three of the guys State has gotten committed thus far are guys who they get on base. You know, they're going to recreate them in the aggregate. So we'll see. State still got a long way to go on the portal for baseball, though. They still got a lot of guys they need to bring in.
Noah Sullivan, originally from Orlando, went to the famed Dr. Phillips High School. That is a school that has produced a lot of Division I athletes through the years in every sport. You know, whether you're talking about baseball or basketball or football, there have been a bunch that have been there.